bring in Scott Bauer, joining us from Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, NEO is, it is what it is, man. It's just this whole market is exploding to the upside, 14% higher. What do you think, Scott? Is this all just an exciting, eventful, euphoric bubble, or can we just finally accept that electric cars are the future and Tesla's going to go to 7,000 or whatever, like Kathy Wood says?
Well, first off, I want to take a spin in one of those with both you and Michael.
Yeah.
I want to
put on your seatbelt.
Exactly. I want to see how this thing really is. But, from a trading perspective, Oliver, my style of trading and what I see, I don't ever really try and jump into the FOMO of what we see. And right now, the electric car makers, that whole industry, the stocks in this industry is all about FOMO right now. I'm not saying that some of it is not warranted. I mean, I don't know how you warrant Tesla at $1,100 or Nikola or any of these, quite frankly. So I'm not a fan of trading in these right now because I don't want to get caught up in the FOMO. That being said, yeah, the numbers on NEO look pretty good. But listen, from an options perspective, in terms of what I would do, I would actually be a put buyer here. And the only reason I say that is not because I don't think their model works, not because there's not, massive demand for the stock right now, but this is that FOMO type of stock. And so you can very, very cheaply just buy some downside protection here in case something negative comes out over the next, however long. And so I'm going out almost 2 months here. This is to August expiration here. And you can buy the $6 puts for 30 cents or less right now. And again, this is more just a, it's a field trade. It's not based on any sort of technical indicators. I just don't get caught up in the FOMO.
You're just ready to short this thing, Scott.
I'm ready to short it, but I'm ready to do it with options, not with the stock, because obviously this thing can be trading $20 in a heartbeat, just with the FOMO in the market. So if I buy these puts and I'm trading, buying them for 25 or 30 cents, that's all I can lose. Stock goes up, that's all I can lose. But here's the thing with these options, and here's the thing with the options on stocks like this that are trading at just ridiculous volatility levels on the FOMO trade, is as a stock goes up, if you're a put buyer, the puts don't move. They rarely will move unless you see a massive uptick in the price of the stock. So NEO could go up another $1 or $2, and the price of these puts are relatively going to be unchanged. But if we get one report, if we get one move down, okay, and I'm not even saying down to $6, you get a move down of 10%, a dollar and a half or so,
right,
puts are really going to start moving because volatility is really going to pick up in them. So that's why I just like that as my play in.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Scott, it's a little bit of a different trade than usual. Usually you've got multiple parts, you'd want to finance, you want to make sure you're capped out, but this one's just, hey, you know what? Stocks run too much. Let's take a little bit of a shot here if it drops. I mean, by expiration, you got to be moved down, below, pretty far down. You got to move to like 575. But if it happens in the next couple of weeks, if there's a drop of at least $1, then it starts to pay off. Let's say by the 15th of July, you get down to $8. You're already up 15 on the $30 that you spent. So, you've got a pretty quick gains that add up here.
Exactly. And listen, I'm not a shot taker, and I would never short an option with unlimited risk. But I would buy an option that has, the risk, because I know what my defined risk is. And again, if we get any sort of downward move, someone comes out and downgrades the industry, not just NEO, but, we get an analyst come out and say, the electric vehicle makers have run too far. This thing can move 10, 15, 20% to the downside, and these puts will explode.
Yeah, okay. All right, Scott Bauer getting on the other side of the NEO momentum right now. And the shares are up big today, so keep rising. All right, nice work, Scott.